Hello and welcome to the Motivation Mob podcast. I am your host, MW. Hey, Motivation Mob, MW here. So, you've set goals. What next? How do you make sure that your goals turn into success? How do you make sure that the goals you have set, the things you want to achieve, become reality and don't just stay dreams? What do you need to do? As you know, in the last episode I spoke about the importance of setting goals. If you haven't listened to that episode, what are you doing? Go back and listen to that before you come here. Or, alternatively, you could just listen to this first and then go back to that one. But if you go back to that one, whether before or after listening to this, I promise you, you will actually love the message I share with you. But moving on, let's get into this episode. What do you do when you have set your goals? Listen, there is a difference between outcomes and behaviors. Once you've set your goal, once you know specifically what it is you want to achieve, you need to plan what behaviors will get you there. You need to understand what behaviors will get you from where you are now to where you want to be. The truth, the simple, painful, blatantly simple truth about success is that you cannot have success if you do not go out and take it for yourself. You need to take action. You need to act. You need to do something that brings that success into your life. You, my friend, are more than able. You're more than capable of success. And here's the reason why. For you to succeed at absolutely anything, you just need to have two things. Well, it's three things. Just to correct myself, it's three things. For you to succeed at anything that you want, you need three things. Number one, you need to know what it is you want to be successful at. You have to have that goal in mind. That's a given. You know that already. Number two, you need to know what behaviors will get you the results that you want. You need to know what behaviors will produce the results that you want. You need to know what behaviors will get you to your goal. That's the second thing. The third thing, you need to take enough action based on the behaviors that you know will get you to where you want to go. Let's just recap there for a second. Number one. What's number one? Come on, you know it. Set a goal. Have a goal in mind. Know where you want to go. Number two, what is it? What is number two? Come on, you know this one. I just said it. Know what actions you need to take. Know what specific behaviors will give you the results that you want to generate. The results that you want to achieve. And what is number three? You know this one. Let's have it. Number three, take enough action. Take all the right actions that will get you from where you are to where you want to be. You cannot get to your goal without taking action. You cannot get to your goal without taking the right action. Simple as that. If you want to be successful, once you have set your goals, once you know specifically what it is you want, if you want to absolutely guarantee your success, you need to know what specific actions, what specific behaviors you need to implement in your life. You need to know what specific behaviors, what specific actions can and will give you the results that you want, and you have to take the right actions, and enough of it. Simple as that. I mean, if you're tired of this episode, you can stop right now. I've given you everything that you need to give you the success that you want. But if you decide to stay, I have one last thing. I've got to go back to failure. Sometimes when we want to achieve something, we don't know specifically what behaviors can give us the results that we want. And in order for us to know what behaviors we need to implement in our lives, what behaviors will give us specifically the results that we want, sometimes the only way is to go out there, try something, fail, learn from that failure, get the feedback, figure out what you did right, what you did wrong, what things worked, what things didn't, and then tweak your approach, get back out there, fail again, figure out what went wrong, what went right, tweak your approach again, and keep failing, and keep getting back on that horse, and keep tweaking your approach until you find a way that works. Failure is good. Failure leads you to success. Failure is an opportunity for you to succeed. And if you know what you want, but you do not know how to get there, sometimes failure is the only route. You know what? Most of the time, failure is the only route. We'll talk about what other ways, what other methods, what other things can give you the same result as failure. But failure is always important. Your last failure is your greatest teacher. So what else can you do? Well, you could find a mentor. You could find somebody who has done specifically the thing that you want to do. You can find somebody who has achieved the results that you want to achieve. Why? Because they have the behaviors. They already behave in a way that will generate the results that you want. They are generating the results that you want because of the behaviors that they have. If you want to lose weight, for example, and you know what your goal is, you want to lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months. You've set your date. You know exactly what your goal is, what your goal weight is. What do? Well, you could figure out what diet works for you. You could try a bunch of diets. You could try eating strange foods you've never eaten. You could start exercising, trying different exercises. Let's say, for example, you decide to eat a bowl of spaghetti for every meal. And for exercise, well, you take a walk once every other day. Eventually, you could find that that method might not necessarily be too successful. So you try something else. You make some tweaks here and there. And you keep tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until you start seeing that weight loss that you want. Now, the thing with failure is it could take you a lot longer to arrive at where you want to arrive than what you actually want. If you keep tweaking your diet and tweaking your exercise, there are endless combinations of things that you could tweak, that you could try. You could keep tweaking, you could keep trying different workout programs, different workout regimes. You could change what time you eat. You could change the quantity of the food you eat. There are a lot of variables within your control that you can change, that you can tweak. And it will take time if you do not have the specific knowledge that you need. If you do not know specifically what you need to eat, how much of it, what times, and how to prepare it. If you do not know how to work out, what workouts work best for the result that you want, if you don't know any of those things, you could try a bunch of stuff, you could fail a bunch of times until you find the winning formula. But there's no guarantee when you will find it. But there is one guarantee though. If you keep trying and you keep tweaking, you keep failing, you keep getting back on that horse, eventually you will try every combination that doesn't work. And you'll be left with only the combinations that do work. You could force success from failure. Or, alternatively, you could just find somebody who knows what to do. Somebody who has the knowledge that you want. Somebody who knows what behaviors drive the success that you want. And you could learn from that person. Now, there are many ways to do this. You could get a face-to-face mentor. You could watch a bunch of YouTube videos. You could read a book. There are a lot of places where you could find this information, but you have to be willing to look for it. You have to be willing to go out there and find the right information when you don't have it. And even when you have the right information, what works for you might not work for me. And what works for me might be catastrophic for you. So even when you have the right behaviors, you still have to tweak them here and there so that they work for you, so that they fit your particular situation, so that they fit and work in your life. There's still an element of failure that you have to overcome, that you have to use in order to give you that success. Simple as that. But it all boils down to the behaviors. Once you know the behaviors you need, the only thing that can stop you from having the success that you want is you. The only thing that can stop you from having the success that you want, once you know specifically what behaviors will give you the success that you want, is your willingness to take enough action. If you have the right behaviors, if you have the right blueprint, if you have all of the right information, it is meaningless. It is utterly useless if you do nothing productive with it. If you know how to cure cancer right now, but you do nothing to go out there and cure cancer, what good is that knowledge? If you know how to create $1 million right now, but you don't go out there and actually create the $1 million, that knowledge is useless. If you know anything, if you know anything that can give you the very thing that you want, but you do not use that knowledge is worthless. So don't just set goals. Set behaviors. Because those behaviors will get you from where you are now to where you want to be. If the goal is the destination, the behaviors are the fuel that will drive you forward towards that goal. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know one thing. Just reply with a simple Yes or no? Do you agree that your behaviors can either guarantee success or failure at the thing you want to create, to achieve in your life? Yes or no? Do you believe that your behaviors will get you to where you want to be? Yes or no? And also, one last thing before we go. If you enjoyed this, if you found it inspiring, if you found it motivational in some way, share this with somebody you love. Share this with absolutely anybody and everybody. Because by sharing this with the people in your life, the people closest to you, you could motivate them to do something absolutely magnificent. You could motivate them to change their lives for the better. You could motivate them to become the greatest version of themselves possible. And their future success will be because of you sharing this with them. So, find someone you love, share this. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.